movie is this?
It ends with
Can't
us.
remember.
That's a whole different one.
Welcome to Monday here at Crain and Company. To my left, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn. To my right, my brother, and also former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crain. Got a loaded show for you guys today as we discuss Bama adding a coordinator and Ohio State losing another one. We play Which is More Likely, Super Bowl 59 edition. And what in the world made the Mavericks make that trade? Blaine?
Yeah.
We get into that and all the rest of the dandy sports news. Tell the people about what's going on in the chat.
Absolutely. First of all, happy Monday chat to you. If you're in here, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate today, it's on topic. It will get read. If you donate at all, it will get read at the end of the show. Multiple polls today just for you, and you get to decide the winner. Coney, what's up with you today, bud?
Hey, Hot Take Hotline this Friday. It's like last Friday, Flaming Dragon Friday. Get those calls in at the end of this week, right before Super Bowl weekend starts, and we will have Fitted in a Minute today, as well as the Super Bowl, Which is More Likely.
And we will be live streaming the Super Bowl Sunday from Mission Cigar and Social, so do not miss that. But let's start the week off right here on Crain and Company. Kalen DeBoer is trying to put the band back together at Alabama, hiring his former OC at multiple stops. And a guy that he goes all the way back with to the NAIA days in Ryan Grubb is a fantastic move. Now, how do I know this? Well, the proof is in the pudding. When Grubb and DeBoer were at Washington and Fresno State together, their offenses averaged almost 36 points per game and almost 490 yards per game. While schematically, Grubb is a very talented and natural play caller, I think one of his biggest additions to this coaching staff is how well he can evaluate and develop quarterbacks. Simply put, this guy doesn't miss when it comes to who to sign and how to grow them. We can talk about Michael Penix Jr., we can talk about Jake Haener, and there's others. But with Bama now having to fill the void after Jalen Milroe left for the NFL, there is no better person to lead the new QB and nobody who knows DeBoer's system better. After last year was up and down for DeBoer and the Tide, most Bama fans still seem weary of whether he can do it or, not. We're going to find out. But having the stability of Grubb will do nothing but help, even if it's only for 1 year if Grubb has head coaching aspirations. One could even argue that having Grubb is more important than DeBoer, because without him, the consistency and ceiling wasn't nearly as high. So is Bama back? We're going to have to wait and see on that. But Grubb could have them eating at the bigger table sooner rather than later. David Cohn, and again, this is the second time that Grubb is supposed to be going out.
Yeah, that's true.
Supposed to go with him the first time, and then the Seahawks came calling, and it wasn't a total disaster, I thought, for Seattle offensively, but it just seems for DeBoer to reach his highest efficiency level, he needs to have his base player in there, and that's who Grubb is. What type of instant impact do you think having Ryan Grubb in Alabama will do, and is this going to push them a little bit further in the eyes of Alabama?
Well, a couple things. One, I'm still surprised that Seattle fired Ryan Grubb after just one season. I mean, they were 14th in yards per game in the NFL. They were 18th in points per game. Those aren't stellar numbers, but that's 2 spots ahead of the Rams with Sean McVay calling plays. That's 3 spots ahead of the Cowboys. They made their offensive coordinator the head coach, so that surprises me a little bit. But the band getting back together with Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer, that doesn't surprise me. I will say this, and I'm not just saying it because Nick Sheridan, last year's offensive coordinator, is a good friend of mine, but I do feel that he has been wrongfully made to be the scapegoat in many situations for Alabama's season last year. There's a number of things I'm sure Nick would go back and call differently if he had the opportunity for, but still, like we all said coming into this year, the type of quarterback that Kalen DeBoer usually coaches is not Jalen Milroe. They're just coming off of having Michael Penix Jr., where he throws the ball 45 times a game, and 30 of those throws are NFL caliber throws. Jalen Milroe brings a different skill set, so how are they going to tailor the offense to him? I thought Nick Sheridan did a better job doing that last year than Tommy Rees did the year before, and Alabama made a 4-team playoff that year. Some of the game plans against Georgia and LSU, I thought that was the best you could possibly call a game plan with Jalen Milroe at quarterback. Some of the worst games, at Oklahoma where they don't score a touchdown. Jalen Milroe was 11 for 26 with 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Still ran him 15 times for 7 yards. In the Michigan game, 4 turnovers on the first 4 drives. Again, not every turnover is a player's fault. Sometimes you can put that on the coaches. I just think he was wrongfully made to be the scapegoat, as if there's some like magic play you can go call for these guys.
And I don't think the offense for Alabama was awful last year. I mean, you brought it up, but I do think moving forward, now that this isn't an inherited quarterback per se, you've at least been there. DeBoer's had a year with these guys. Bringing in Ryan Grubb to develop that quarterback, Blaine, because everybody's going to talk about the play calling. And I get it, but at the end of the day, being able to develop players, being able to identify who can really do it and who can't do it, that's just as important as getting up there and calling the right plays. Hell, I can make an argument it's even more important because I've seen a lot of, we're going to talk about this at Ohio State, I've seen a lot of really good coaches look really bad because the players weren't good enough, and a lot of really bad coaches look really good because the players were. That's why nowadays, if you can get half the guys can develop and the other half can recruit, you can make a lot of hay.
Do we feel like Jalen Milroe regressed in his career at Alabama?
I feel like he did.
You think he regressed this year, Dave?
Well, he didn't play as good as he did when he was 6th in Heisman Trophy voting. But again, I thought I thought last year's game plans were better than some of the game plans that Tommy Rees called the year before when he had a better year. Was it a little bit too drop back heavy for my liking still? Probably. But again, like you just got to go in with the best.
And they did adjust though. Like Bama started calling, and literally, you look at the Georgia game when Jalen Milroe, I think, had his best throwing game. But it seemed like Alabama started to say, you know what? Regardless of what system we want him in, we've just got to start tailoring this offense to Jalen Milroe, which is what DeBoer told us he was going to do at the Senior Bowl. And it seemed like it took a couple games for them to say, all right, we're going to default to what we think he does best.
Well, what's enough this year for Alabama fans?
That's the question.
Ryan Grubb, technically his first year at Alabama. Jalen Milroe, who might be a first-round draft pick, which we all don't think he is, but he might turn out to be a first-round draft pick. What's the number for Alabama for wins this year? That's good. Because, look, you can say what you want. Alabama is used to winning football games.
Yeah.
They're used to winning national championships. They're used to winning SEC championships. So expectations were high when you walked in. Can Kalen DeBoer, even if the quarterback plays good, say the quarterback, you play good, but you win 9 games and don't make the playoffs.
That's not good
enough. It's not enough. So what is the number for Alabama fans to be okay with?
Well, I think the number is making the playoff. If that's 9-3 and you backdoor your way in there, I think Alabama fans would be okay with it. They wouldn't love it, especially if one of those 3 losses is to a rival. You say what you want about last year. You did beat Georgia. You did beat Auburn. I know Tennessee didn't go great. But if you get to 10, you're going to be in regardless with Bama. But to that point, we always talk about Nick Saban was able to monopolize a team. He was able to monopolize a team, therefore monopolize winning and monopolize college football. You can't do that anymore nowadays. I don't think Kirby can do it at Georgia. I don't think anybody can. I know a lot of people throw out money for NIL, but you're not having a 5-star third-string running back. You're not having some of these rosters that are as deep as what we used to see because of the movement in the transfer portal. So having a guy that can develop players, especially at the most important position in football, we talk about the line of scrimmage is unbelievably important. That is second to quarterback. That, in my opinion, is the only thing that's the only position group that is right behind the quarterback. Everything else is kind of the ornaments on the tree. So maybe having a guy that can develop Ty Simpson, develop some of these younger guys, even bringing a guy in through the transfer portal, if that's how you want to do it, that has never been more important than now. Mm-hmm. And what made Saban so incredible was not only was he getting all the good players, he brought guys in that could develop them too. You had the double whammy. So you got to pick one. You can either develop or you can monopolize. I don't think you can monopolize.
Well, that's my question for this upcoming year is, well, who's going to play quarterback? Because Ty Simpson, who I think is probably the leader in the clubhouse, but he's had some shots too, right? So he could end up being a great player. I don't know. You're not going to start Keelan Russell, I don't believe, as a true freshman. That's not going to be the answer for Alabama in year 2 for Kalen DeBoer. So again, what if you have a year that looks very similar offensively to this year because you're starting a new guy and there are struggles with forming a relationship and a new offensive coordinator? You can't then blame the offensive coordinator again, right? You've already sort of pulled that trigger, so to speak.
Well, and look, the defense in Alabama had some moments on defense that were good, but I think, Kane Womack, the DC, would tell you, we got to play better in some spots. I mean, you go back and again, look at the second half against Georgia. Look at some of these other games. So when you're looking at Alabama, it's really weird to see them, and then Georgia to a little bit of an extent this year, but we want to see if that keeps up, kind of being mortal at most places. Not just being so much better than everybody else. But if Ryan Grubb can come in, can get the quarterback position right, can get some excitement in there and they make the playoff, I think it will be fine. The biggest complaint I hear is, oh, well, Ryan Grubb's going to be here 1 year. If it goes great, Ryan Grubb's only going to be here 1 year. I mean, he's obviously ambitious. He went to the Seahawks. I don't know him personally, but I would think he'd probably want to be a head coach. I mean, he's been an assistant for DeBoer a ton. So, again, if your worry is, oh, no, our coordinator's going to leave after one great year, that is a high-class problem. I'll tell the same thing to Ohio State fans. Y'all were so damn good. Y'all won the national championship and lost both coordinators. So, again, at the end of the day, I don't think that's the reason to be upset. Even if it's a 1 year big hit, at least you get Alabama back up to the spot. Because, guys, I do think in the national perspective, in the periphery, and Alabama fans don't want to hear this, if you don't make the playoff again next year, Alabama starts looking like more of just one of the pack, right? Not this elevated, oh, my God, it's the mecca of college football. It's the most dominant brand in college football. Because you look at what Texas is doing, right? You look at what Tennessee did last year. So that's what I'm worried about if I'm somebody on this coaching team.
Another thing that could hurt optically is if Jalen Milroe does go to the NFL and has success. Like, I think Jalen Hurts had a better Alabama career than Jalen Milroe, but there are still some similarities, right? At some point, they looked at Tua Tagovailoa and said, yeah, you're going to be the guy. But look what Jalen Hurts has done in the NFL now. Was at one point the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. He's already been to one Super Bowl. He's going to play in his second Super Bowl this weekend. If Jalen Milroe does anything similar, then that'd be a bad look too.
Do we have an update on what the situation is with Nick Sheridan, the OC from?
I haven't heard yet. I haven't heard yet.
Demotion, because I don't think Ryan Grubb's going to be a co-OC. Now, I'd be shocked. Maybe he's co-OC and associate head coach and, handler of the bat phone or whatever title they want to give him to pay him more money. That's what I'm kind of.
And I think because the original plan was for, and look, I don't know Nick and I mostly when we're talking, we're just friends talking. We're not talking about his professional life so much. But the original plan was, we'll come to Alabama, but Ryan Grubb's going to come as well. You'll be a position coach. Remember, he was the tight ends coach when he was at Washington. So I hope that he remains in Tuscaloosa. I hope he gets another shot at this position, honestly.
Sure. All right, Chad, hit that like, hit that subscribe button on this beautiful Monday. We're going to start off with a $5 donation from Tyson. Appreciate it, Tyson. He says, fellas, we can talk about the quarterback all we want. I want this question answered. How good is the roster at Alabama?
Well, and that kind of went into my point a little bit about the development aspect of this. Again, I don't think we're going to see the monopolized level rosters, whether it's Michigan, whether it's Alabama. I know Ohio State went out and paid $20 million for one. We'll see if that's replicatable. But again, they didn't even play in their own conference championship game. So it's not like they were just so incredibly deep that they outmanned everybody in college football for the whole year like we used to see the old Alabama teams. I don't think the roster, I think, is really good. Is really good. Is it elite? I don't think it's the most elite roster in college football. And for Alabama fans, you better either be the most elite roster or tied at the top for the most elite.
Is it the most elite roster in the SEC?
I don't think so.
Is it top three?
I think it's probably. If it's top three, it's three. It's still right now, because Kirby is still at Georgia. It is hard for me to not look at Georgia and just trust them. I know what happened at quarterback last year with Carson Beck, and he moves on or whatever. I feel like Georgia still has one of the best, if not the best roster in the league. You look at what they've added in the transfer portal at wide receiver. Let's just see if they can stay out of trouble off the field.
Let's go to Bama Phil with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Philly. He says, is the starting quarterback at Alabama on campus right now?
I think it's going to be Ty. I think it is. And Ty kind of fits the system that they want to run. Not that, he's a paraplegic or anything or can't run, but his element is from the pocket. When he has to extend, you extend it from the pocket and then do the ancillary things. My question is, are you going to line up and run Q power with him? Are you going to line up and run power read? Because if you go back and watch Bama, that was one of the biggest threats they've had. Yeah. So you're not going to have that with Ty Simpson, but I do think the starting quarterback for Alabama is on the roster right now.
All right, let's go do a $2 donation from Luke. I'm your sister. What's up, man? Appreciate it. Says, guys, I'm going to be honest. I think it was more on Jalen Milroe than Nick Sheridan. You can point all you want at the OC. Jalen had to play better.
Yeah, I mean, look at the fumbled snaps, Coney. Yep. Look at the overthrows. A lot of the turnovers were, stuff that wasn't, hey, it was the right read. I just gave you a bad play call. All right, let's get to the poll real quick.
All right, poll. Will Ryan Grubb save Alabama? Yes.
Save.
Or no. I know one season.
In their eyes, David,
what a funny word.
David, I know, but in their eyes, you're married to an Alabama. I'm married to an Alabama fan. We know how a lot of this works, and they've kind of earned it. They are thinking, save us. Please
Okay,
don't
fine.
let SMU jump us.
Well, I was going to say no, but after that, fine, I'll say yes, 52%.
I'll say yes, 53.
No, 68%.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of
32%.
There's a lot of bad faith in there. But speaking about bad faith, I know everybody out there makes New Year's resolution. We're already in early February. Most of y'all haven't stuck to it. But wait, there's still time. We still have what, Coney? 10 more months to go in the year?
Something like that.
So maybe if one of those resolutions was, I want to get in shape. I want to look good for beach season. All right, I want to get rid of some of this flab, or maybe you're already in good shape and you want to get in even better shape. Well, imagine having a personal trainer right in your pocket, but better. One that creates fully personalized workouts based on your exact goals, available equipment, and even how recovered your muscles are. And that's what our friends over at Fitbod can do. We always say, work smarter, not harder. But as my good friend Cone always likes to lament, why don't we work smarter and harder? And that's what you can do with Fitbod. So level up your workout. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan and get 25% off your subscription, or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/booster. I'm going to spell it out for you. It's fitbod.me/booster. I could be the mayor of Philadelphia, and that one was way, way harder, even though it is on the prompter. But no, check out fitbod.me/booster. Get in shape, a shape you like. All right, Coney.
All right, boys. Little punt or go here. We are going to make a statement. The other guys have 60 seconds uninterrupted to affirm that statement by going for the prompt, or they can reject it by punting. And we have to start with this move in the NBA. One of the most shocking trades in NBA history. Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis. Was actually a 3-team trade that included the Jazz. The Jazz didn't even know what they were getting 30 minutes prior to the trade. Super hush-hush. We may not be watching the NBA anymore, but everyone's talking about it today because of this move. So my statement is Luka to the Lakers was a publicity stunt for the league. Punt or go?
I'm going to go on this because that's the only way this makes sense. It's the only way that this trade makes sense. It's the only reason we're talking about the NBA. So obviously it worked during Super Bowl week. We're talking about the NBA because when you look at the nuts and bolts on it, and I've heard some people try and defend it and try and sound super smart saying, well, the Mavericks are building long term. Okay, that's fine, if that's the way you want to go about it. But if you're sitting here saying you got rid of Luka Doncic because of work ethic, court availability, not being hurt, okay, you didn't want to give him a max deal. So you go and get Anthony Davis? That's the answer? We just did a Fitbod read. That's like saying, you know what? I'm done eating Butterfingers because I want to lose weight, so I'm just going to start eating Snickers. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And you didn't get nearly what you gave away. And I think Anthony Davis, when he does play, can be really good. But he's in the back half of his career. You got some ancillary pieces. This is a publicity stunt because nobody cares about the NBA anymore. It's like Kanye's girl he brought up at the Grammys. The only way people are going to talk about Kanye is if his girl gets naked in front of the cameras. The NBA just did the exact same thing. Just thank God Luka wasn't naked for this one.
Hey, the NBA wouldn't let Chris Paul go to the Lakers back in the day, but Luka Doncic is fine. This is a publicity stunt. Punt or go?
Punt. I'm punting this. One, I'm trying to figure it out. All right, but I'm pretty sure this is somehow Mark Cuban's fault. This is somehow, and look, he sold his shares in 2020. I don't care. Even though that trade had to go through him, he had to give the okay. And God, what a terrible run has this guy's been on. Lost 80% of his portfolio in crypto. Damn, L. You came out and endorsed Kamala. Damn, another L. Then you let Luka Doncic, averaging 28 a game, go play with LeBron, who's playing in the league for 40 years. If anybody can teach Luka how to get healthy and do it right, it's LeBron. And I know y'all love LeBron so much. And another reason why this won't last. This rating, this won't last. After this week, we won't be talking about this. We won't. I just think it was two things. One, Mark Cuban's an idiot. And two, I think all the Dallas people, the high-up people, got in a room together and just kept convincing themselves that this was a good idea for the team. No way you play long-term for the Mavericks when you bring Anthony Davis. You have Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. You're basically an old folks' home.
It was actually just two people. The GMs, Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka, met in Dallas over a month ago. No one else knew, not even in their offices. And they said this is the only way we can pull off a trade of this magnitude.
The worst thing about it is you betrayed your fans, man.
Look, if I'm a Mavericks fan, I'm done. Listen, if you're going to get rid of our guy, and say what you want about Luka, was he in the best shape? No. All right. Did you have to take a couple beers away from the cameras in the postgame after a dub? Yes. He's averaging what, 28? We got the video of it. Michael Finley. He's just what was he like?
That's who we haven't talked about enough.
Yeah,
is this where it all went wrong?
Play this video of them taking a beer out of Luka's hands. Go ahead and play it. So here's Michael Finley. He's going to walk up. Luka.
It's a grown-ass man
cold
here,
one.
y'all.
Got the finals hat on. Yeah. Then you're going to stare at me? I'm sorry. Look. Michael Finley.
Is this where it all went wrong?
Great. I know you were pretty great. Nobody remembers Michael Finley, dog. I'm sorry.
Well, Michael Finley remembers. And Michael Finley right now has 300 more points than Luka at the Mavericks.
That's right.
You know, took the beer out of his hand. Is this a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
So
right
y'all
here?
snuck around and screwed the Mavs. That's what y'all did. This GM looks like the dumbest person on the planet. For making this move, because you got old-ass Anthony Davis.
Here's another aspect to this. Luka was eligible for a Supermax extension this summer with the Mavs, a 5-year, $345 million contract. Would have been the largest in NBA history, surpassing Jason Tatum's $315. Now, instead, with the Lakers, because he's on a new team, he can sign 5 years, $229 million, a difference of $116.
They chose profit over fans. They chose profit over championships.
Well,
they did.
Okay, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to cry for somebody who's unfortunately making $230 million as opposed to the 340. I get what you're saying, but again.
No, but it kind of deals with would he sign with the Lakers, or is he even going to sign an extension there?
Yeah. No, who knows? I'm just to the point
if there's anybody willing to give out a max contract.
If you were wanting to make a move of magnitude, you should have shopped around more and done your homework and seen as much as you could get. You stopped at Anthony Davis. That's what Anthony Davis. Oh, and a pick and a couple other ancillary players. Of course.
You know who's really excited about this? It's Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
look at them, everybody. Everybody look at what they just did. Nobody look at what we're doing.
They're saying it's the biggest disaster in Dallas since the JFK assassination is what.
For sure. That Helsinki episode back in 88.
That was something else that was big.
All right, next one up here. Chip Kelly is now gone to be the offensive coordinator at the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, where he'll make $6 million a year. More than head coach DeMeco Ryans, by the way. This is 3 times as much as he was making with the Buckeyes. Blaine, I'll let you take it from here.
Yes, I will deliver this passage. Here we go, boys. Get ready. Coney, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
All right. As we know, Ohio State won the national championship this year. Ohio State will regress after losing both coordinators. Cone, you Mountain Man, you punting or you going?
Well, if regress you mean not win the national championship again, then yeah, I'll go for that. I mean, that's sort of the pinnacle that we're trying to hit. So no, I don't think the Buckeyes are going to win back-to-back national championships after losing both coordinators. And more than that, they're going to replace coordinators. If what you mean is they're going to be a bad football team, then I would punt that. I've never in my adult life have I seen them be a bad football team in Columbus. But I don't think they're going to win back-to-back natties. And more so than just having to replace the coordinators is a lot of those seniors came back, man. A lot of those seniors came back to win the natty this year. Mission accomplished. Now a lot of them are going to the NFL. I don't think that will be the milestone that they will hit. And in order to do that, man, you gotta get somebody really good in there to replace what I think was a great offensive performance this year from Chip Kelly.
All right, Jake, Ohio State will regress after losing both coordinators. Are you punting? Are you keeping the offense on the field?
No, we're gonna. It's punt alert. Let's get out here. Let's pin him and play defense. I'm punting, and it's for this reason. It all comes down to players. I brought this up about Ryan Grubb. Yes, Ohio State's losing some guys, some older guys that came back. I mean, Jack Sawyer, I can go through the list. But they're also returning some of those guys, and they're absolutely recruiting their ass off, and they're willing to pay $20 million for a roster. Boy, you can hide some coaching deficiencies with that, buddy. You still got Jeremiah Smith. I think Julian Sayan's going to be better than Arch Manning is coming up. You're going to be really good up front on both sides of the ball. I just think this Ohio State team is a machine. You still have Ryan Day there, who knows the type guys that he wants to hire, right? Who understands that he can't make some of the similar mistakes that he made last year. Like, I don't know, going into Michigan with an emotional game plan that him and Chip Kelly cooked up together.
I think Michigan was just better than
I mean, that's one way to put it. But as long as you're able to dole out that type of money, as long as you're a brand as big as Ohio State, and as long as a guy named Jeremiah Smith just makes it to the game, the 2 most important people are not the coordinators. And they're actually 3. It's the bus driver, the pilot, and the chef. If those 3 guys are okay, Ohio State's going to be just fine.
So who should Ryan Day replace him with?
God, but what about Bobby Slowick? from the Texans. You brought up D'Amico Ryans. Look, coaches can go.
So the Buckeyes and Alabama, they're good with just coordinators getting fired from the NFL.
Goes back to Bama. How about Bobby Sloan?
I got a name for you.
But it's going to be Brian.
I got a name for both.
I think it's going to be Brian Hartline.
How about this? What about Andy Kotelnicki? Hey, you came and stole Jim Knowles? Penn State, you want to come steal Jim Knowles, our DC? How about this? Right back at you. We're going to come steal your offensive
What about, I got two names.
We're going to pay him double.
Andy Kotelnicki would love that.
Come to Columbus.
I got two names for you. All right. First one about Bobby P.
Petrino?
Yeah. Bobby P. And look, this guy knows how to discipline his best players.
It's Natos
would be a great.
I think it's gonna be Brian
Ohio State.
I think it's gonna be Brian Hartline.
And Brian Hartline was kind of in the running for that last time, but then they were going to bring in Bill O'Brien, but then he got the head coaching job at BC, and then Chip Kelly. Just interesting thing. All right, let's go to the Nebraska spring game with Matt Rule.
Yeah, guys, have y'all heard about this? Nebraska and Matt Rule thinking about canceling their spring game, which is unheard of. We're going to start with you, Jake. Nebraska should get rid of their spring game. Punt or go?
Oh, go. Thank God. Okay, this is the worst kept secret out there. Head coaches hate the spring game. It's like the Senior Bowl game. It doesn't matter as much as the practices. We used to just pray to God when I was in it that none of our star players would get hurt during the spring game. You see guys only play a couple snaps, only go out there for one series. It's more for the fans, and it's really more for some of the young guys or some of the newer guys you have going and playing in the stadium and getting that experience. We would get much more out of a practice. Give me just another Tuesday practice. Let's go inside drill. Let's go perimeter drill. Let's go 7-on-7, and then we'll go team. Matt Rule is just saying out loud what so many coaches have talked about behind closed doors. The spring game sucks. It's the worst. You either cancel it or you let them play somebody else. Those are the two options. I already told you how to fix the Pro Bowl. You just stop it. With the spring game, cancel it, or hey, let's play an in-state team. Why don't Auburn play UAB? Bama play Troy, right? Georgia play Georgia Southern. Y'all love that. Thank God for Matt Rule saying it, because we're all thinking it.
Did you hear that buzzer? I mean, shut up. All right?
Yeah.
You got to get to David. All right, David. Nebraska should get rid of the spring game. You punting or you going?
Punt. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The powers that be in college football so incapable of controlling the transfer portal that programs now just want to cancel their spring games because they're afraid of tape getting out and guys are going to come poach their players. Matt Rule, let me just tell you something. The rest of the coaches already know which players are the best ones on your team. They're going to come offer them a bunch of money no matter if you play in the spring game or not. Look at that picture right there. 60,000 people came to the Nebraska spring game last year. It's not like they were coming off a national championship. How cool is that? It's a great moment in the spring to get all your fans together and come watch a little football. Some of my earliest memories, watching the blue and white game at Paulson Stadium with Georgia Southern. And honestly, it kind of already is a practice. This is a great opportunity to get a lot of guys reps. I'm saying this as someone who took more spring reps, than reps in the fall. All right, so watch your mouth over there. All right, great opportunity to get some guys some reps and go through what a game day looks like. Let's work out some things. Maybe we go get our ankles taped, have a good breakfast together. You know?
Hey, what would be the difference if you just showed up and practiced?
Since our coaches were calling the plays on the field in the spring game, not much.
Yeah,
not much.
That's exactly right.
All right, last one here. We got to talk about John Calipari. This guy goes back into Lexington, Kentucky. Gets booed initially, right? A little bit. I don't know if we have a video of that or maybe some pictures. Gets booed a little bit and then just whips up on Kentucky. So my statement is Calipari beating Kentucky after getting booed is better than winning the SEC. Punt or go?
I'm going to punt because I'm talking about to Arkansas fans. Maybe to Cal deep down. This is the most important. And this is why we love sports, for stories like this. You know, I know Kentucky fans are pissed off. But to me, you signed up at Arkansas because they looked at you as an elite coach, as somebody who's been to 4 Final Fours, that's won a national championship, to take Arkansas even further than Eric Musselman could recruit the best talent in the country, formulate rosters, right? Put them together. They didn't sign you for some personal vendetta so you could go beat Rupp and then finish in an absolute disaster. I mean, you walked in there 1-6. Now you're 2-6. Congratulations. But I think every Arkansas fan would trade this win at Rupp to be 6-2 in the conference rather than 2-6. So maybe in a personal way for Calipari, this is better than winning the SEC because he's done it before. But Arkansas, they didn't pay all that money for them Tyson chicken nuggets. All right, for all them Razorback Nuggets
by the way.
to be 2-6 in the league. We'll see if they can do it. All right, I think they got Texas and then Bama this weekend, so we'll see.
What do you think of Cal going back into Lexington, giving the Wildcats a whoop for there?
I'm going for this. This isn't about Arkansas. This is about Cal. Should have stood up and clapped, shouldn't you? Shouldn't you? Then they clapped them cheeks for 2 halves. Should have stood up and clapped. Class, right? This is what happens. This is what happens. It's like, look, I don't care if we lose every game if we beat Alabama. I don't care. And that's what he did. He went to his ex-wife's house and beat up her new boyfriend in front of the kids. I don't need nothing else. I'm good for life. I could die today. This isn't Arkansas. You were just a vessel. All right, that's all you were. Cal sent the message. The message has been sent. And I feel bad for that new head coach of Kentucky. You're going to live with this forever. Forever. Should have stood up and clapped. Like, who's the dummy now?
It's like showing up at your ex-wife's house.
Yeah.
And beating up her new boyfriend
in front of the kids. This was my day. This was my day with the kids.
That is one of the best that's right. That's what it is.
My day with the kids.
Oh, God, Arkansas played so good. They'll never play that good again for the rest of the
Oh,
year.
well done.
They had that big Yugoslavian, couldn't miss.
I'll tell you who didn't play good.
What's this? I cannot think it's the guy from Vakaitis. Vakaitis from Semi.
That's their
Vakaitis.
Vakaitis.
That was going through my head the entire time. Poll quickly, who won punt or go? Blaine, David, or Jake? Blaine coming in with 30%, David 23%, and Jake with a 47%.
We need to let it go a little further.
It's a dub.
Well, you can't say
I think you let that go a perfect amount of time. The absolute perfect amount of time.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from KK. Appreciate it. It says, is it just me, or does it feel like Cal really needed this win? I know I hate Kentucky, but I hate Cal too.
Oh, he needed it. They were greasing him. I mean, we've been hard on Cal, and it's been deserved. And what's crazy is they're doing it without Boogie Flan. The more I watch Arkansas without Boogie Flan, the better they look, even though I do think they need him. They've got to be able to hold on this momentum because, guys, it was bad before this. Like, it's been bad for Arkansas before this. Like I said, 1-6 walking into this one. But you go 2-rup with their new coach, BBN's booing you. I mean, I think Blaine put it so eloquently.
Thank you.
You didn't clap, and then he clapped them cheeks.
Yep.
I mean, that's
So
I tell you what. I think that's a haiku.
I have one every like 3 weeks.
You do. You have like,
that's what keeps my job going.
yeah, you have a couple good ones, and they're always pretty good.
Let's go to a $2 donation from Go Big Red. Appreciate it. It says, Jake, the only reason we have the spring game is because we have nothing else to do in Nebraska.
Well, let's have a practice. Open practice.
Can people still come to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so a spring game.
It's not a game, though, like, because in the practice, I'll be like, hey, all right, ones, here's what we're going to do. You're not going to practice. All right? I already know what my one's going to do. You almost feel as a coach like you have to put the starting quarterback out there first. Like, you got to do it because all these people are showing up. No coach loves the spring game, honestly. They may hear this and come out of press conference talking about how much they love the spring game, how much they love the fans taking the pictures or the running of the Gumps at Alabama before A-Day or whatever. But deep down, they hate it. It's the worst part of it. I think the Senior Bowl is a great comparison. The game, while it's important, is not nearly as important or can further you more than as the practices are. I mean, the practices are where you make hay. This is just for show, all right? It's in the training room, at practice, one-on-ones, getting in there, mixing it up. So that's what I think.
So what do you think specifically about the idea of canceling it because of the transfer portal? That's what Matt Rule's doing.
Well,
he's saying I don't want to have it anymore because it's getting tape of my best players and they're transferring.
I think he's lying. I think he just doesn't want the spring game anymore, and this is his way to say it. That's what I think. Because, look, I mean, if you're over here poaching guys after the spring game, like, first off, a lot of guys aren't going to go because it's obviously going well for them. And then number two, so you're going to leave after spring and go to your new place for the summer and the fall and just show up and hope it's going good? I mean, I just think that was a way of him not saying, hey, the spring game sucks ass and I'm at Nebraska and I can't say this out loud, but they're taking our players. So now everybody should hate it, right? We should all hate it. We'll see what happens, though. But I tell you what doesn't suck. Is good quality American meat. And guys, I did find something out recently that I just learned because I like to learn things. That 85%, actually over 85% of grass-fed beef in stores is actually imported. That's right. Most of what you're buying isn't even American beef.
Wait, what?
Guess what? Surprise,
85?
surprise. Over 85%.
Beef right
yeah, I am. I'm beefing about beef. That's because the country of origin labeling law It was repealed in 2015. That's why you need Good Ranchers, American farms, American land, American animals. And they care about it too. All right, Good Ranchers, and we've tried all the products. We've had Good Ranchers for so long, and I'm still finding new ways, right, to mix it up. Had some meatballs the other night that were pretty good when we had family come over, because it's not too late to start the year right. Invest in your health and support American farms with every purchase. Right now, get free ground beef, chicken breasts, or wild-caught salmon in every order for a year, plus $25 off with code BOOSTER. Starts 2025 right. Like I said, visit GoodRanchers.com. Use that code BOOSTER for this incredible offer. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. All right, what's next?
All right, boys, let's talk a little Super Bowl. Again, like Jake said, we will be live streaming the Super Bowl from Mission Cigar and Social in Spring Hill, Tennessee this Sunday. Going to be a great time. Also, we have a full preview and prediction segment out on YouTube right now from last week. Go check that out. And we also simulated the Chiefs and the Eagles in this Super Bowl on Madden. You should go check that out as well. Not sure really what was happening with our 2-minute hurry-up offense there at the end of the game.
Don't give it away, David.
Okay, I won't give it away. But for this moment, we're going to do a little which is more likely. All right, boys, Super Bowl edition. First one up. Which is more likely? A lot of money's coming in on Travis Kelce to win the MVP. Okay, so Travis Kelce wins the Super Bowl MVP, or the Super Bowl goes into overtime. What's more likely?
I think it is more likely the Super Bowl goes into overtime. I think the Eagles are going to find a way to maybe not stop Travis, but slow him down to the point where he doesn't win MVP. I think probably his best chance is if it's a really low-scoring game and he has a couple touchdown catches. I mean, I think he can win it with 60 yards and 2 important touchdown catches. But this game does smell like overtime. I just keep going back and forth in my head. It just feels like the Eagles will start out with the lead, and the Chiefs are going to fight back. Then the Eagles are going to take the lead late. The Chiefs are going to fight back, and we go into overtime. And we have the new overtime rules in the playoff where if you score a touchdown with the ball first, the other team still gets it. It's not sudden death. I think it's more likely it goes into overtime.
Remember, Chiefs, 3-point victory last year in the Super Bowl, 3-point victory the year before that over the Eagles. Close games. What do you say?
I would just say Travis Kelce because he's dating Taylor Swift.
So what does he need to do to win MVP? Like catch 2 balls?
Well, yeah, you got to remember what Zach Ertz did. I mean, for the Redskins, have over 100 yards. So the Eagles do have some deficiencies when it comes to guarding tight ends, which I don't think it'll be as much. Travis Kelce would be a little bit more emphasized in this game. But I would say Travis Kelce right now, he's going off at plus 1,800 to win MVP. I think he's 4th in the list. I'm just saying, you're dating Taylor Swift. What's up if I'm a Madden, if I'm the guy in the Super Bowl and I'm trying to go for ratings, not only for the game, Travis Kelce, MVP, wins that, immediately proposes to Taylor Swift afterwards. You want to talk about eyes to TVs, boys. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Money play.
So plus 1,800, right?
It's an entertainment league.
Yeah, sure.
It's an entertainment league. So how can you be entertained? Travis Kelce, MVP, cheap Super Bowls. He proposes to Taylor Swift on the 50-yard line in front of everybody, the world.
All right, so that's plus 1,800. Overtime for the game is plus 900. So we do have some odds to bounce off here.
So,
all right.
Right.
Next one up here, Jalen Hurts. Last time these two teams met in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts had 3 rushing touchdowns. So which is more likely? Jalen Hurts scores another 3 rushing touchdowns this Sunday, or Chris Jones scores a defensive touchdown?
Oh, God, defensive touchdowns are just so rare. I've got to go with Jalen Hurts because of the tush push. I know you hate calling it that. I know Blaine calls it the push tush, which I think is a whole other thing if you Google it. Please don't.
Close your eyes.
But again, anytime you run that type of play, and I just feel like, you get to the 1-yard line twice, and then one drive Jalen Hurts makes the guy miss and goes and scores. And I think the extra week off will actually help, with the health of Jalen Hurts a little bit. He's a little bit beat up. Still didn't really slow him down that much in the previous game. But going against this Redskins defense, they could score a defensive touchdown. Jalen Hurts will turn the ball over. He will put the ball out, when he's running or whatever. But this Philadelphia Eagles offensive line is so good. I think the odds of Jalen Hurts scoring 3 touchdowns on the ground is probably
What do you think? Chris Jones strip sack, maybe pick
first
6?
half. Then he cries about it for the rest of the game. Why is Chris Jones always crying during the game? Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah,
it's almost scary to me. Like, if a man that large is crying, it's something either it matters that much or something's wrong. But I wouldn't be. Jalen Hurts has put the ball on the ground a lot this year. A lot. Maybe a Karlaftis coming around the edge, strip sack. Chris Jones picks it up, runs in the end zone. I'm always want a big boy touchdown.
I think there's a better chance if Chris Jones is going to score on defense, catching a batted ball and going.
Screen?
Yeah. Could
Screen,
be.
Something like that, or just a tip pass.
His anytime touchdown odds plus 8,000. 3 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts plus 2,500 right
So
now.
you have individual odds on a defensive player scoring a touchdown? Like who would score?
Found it today.
That's nuts.
Found it today.
Dived in your bag.
They're going deep on the Super Bowl odds here. All right, next one up here. Either team scores 40 points in this Super Bowl, or Saquon Barkley has 200-plus rushing yards. What's more likely?
God, I think it's more likely that Saquon gets 200. I just don't see this game. I know a lot of people see it high scoring. Maybe if there's an overtime or, if there's an overtime where one team scores a touchdown, the other team it's a possibility. I just don't see it. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think Saquon could have a big game, could be really good in between the 20s, and the Chiefs kind of be able to stymie him. Because at the end of the day, it's about preventing touchdowns. Saquon can run for all the yards he wants. But if you're kicking field goals and not scoring touchdowns, obviously that's going to affect his rushing touchdown numbers. So I think it's a higher likelihood that Saquon goes for 2 bills or close to 2 bills, and neither team scores 40 points.
I would go with the team scoring 40 points. I don't think Saquon. You know how hard it is to get 200 yards rushing. It's any NFL team.
Well, he makes it look easy.
I know, but the Chiefs, they're not the best, but they're not that bad. And I do think if this game does turn into a shootout and Jalen Hurts and this offense is rolling, Patrick Mahomes knows how to go punch for punch. He'll go punch for the guy no matter what it is. If the game is just turning into an absolute blow up on the scoreboard, I wouldn't be surprised. We just watched the Eagles put 50 up on the Redskins. So I think both these offenses, especially in the fourth quarter, if they got to have it, start turning it up a notch. You see a lot of points start coming out, and I'm also taking the over, so I'm somewhat speaking that into existence.
I can respect that.
Either team scores 40 points right now, plus 800. Saquon, 200-plus rushing yards, plus 1360. All right, last one here. Which is more likely? Patrick Mahomes throws for 350-plus yards, or Luka posts a triple-double in his first start for the Lakers?
I think Luka posts a triple. Here's why. Patrick Mahomes could have a great game without throwing for 350 yards. But if you ever wanted to motivate Luka Doncic to get in the best shape of his life, if you ever wanted to get him to get off the couch, start doing that shake weight, right? Start eating more salads and stuff like that, how about you trade him to a team in the same conference as you, in the Western Conference? Say, no, Luka, no max deal. We don't believe in you that much. You're a culture problem. Here, let me grab that beer. I want to see pissed off Luka. I will watch that game. I don't watch a lot of NBA, but I will watch pissed off Luka put that triple-double up. Look, I think Patrick could throw for 3 bills. It's not likely, but I think it's not more likely that Luka gets in his bag with a pen and a pad trying to get this damn label off for his first game for the Lakers.
Yeah, it's a real deer stand moment for Luka.
It's a huge
it's so much easier to get a triple-double now in the NBA than it was back in the day. I mean, no one even bats an eye at it anymore. Who plays defense?
Well, it's easier to throw for 350 nowadays in a football game than it was back in the day.
Yeah, but I still think it's easier to get a triple-double in the NBA than it is to throw 350 yards in the Super Bowl against the Eagles.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
I mean, they're playing the Clippers. I'm pretty sure the next opponent with the Lakers are the Clippers. Like, Luka Doncic makes a living getting triple-doubles. So this would not surprise me at all. And you have LeBron James on your team who will take a back seat and let you go get your stats.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he will. Take a back seat.
Yeah, he will.
Assisting, rebounding, just kick it out to Luka. LeBron knows it.
He don't want that.
350-plus passing yards for Patty Mahomes, plus 840 right now. Couldn't find the exact odds on Luka, but it looked like it was around plus 300, something like that for triple-double.
Yeah, it's, man, that's going to be absolute lightning. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from the troll. He says, boys, I can guarantee that Saquon will have over 100 yards in this game. 200 feels like a stretch, but he will bust at least a 70-plus yard touchdown.
Well, what is it going to be? What is it going to be during the game? It's if you had to take the player prop, it's going to be, 115? I feel like that's what it was last game. Or was it 130? I can't remember right.
It was 124.
It was 124. So, over 100 yards. I just feel like this is one of those games, like I mentioned earlier, where you have a lot of big plays in between the 20s, but teams struggle in the red zone. That's why we put the special teams part in the graphic when we were labeling off which position group we like the most. It's going to be huge. I mean, a missed field goal in this game could absolutely cost you. But I think offenses will be able to move the ball in between the 20s. But when you get in the red zone, when the field shrinks.
So if he's right and Saquon has one run of 70 yards, what would you say he goes for?
150.
If he has one run of 70 yards, I would probably say 130.
Yeah, I don't see him having a 70-yard run and then ending with like 102.
Yeah, unless, again, somebody just absolutely. What I'm interested to see is how much they use Saquon in the passing game, too.
Yeah.
We always talk about his pass blocking ability, and this is great, and it is. But he
could take a screen for 70.
His most famous play this year was taking a swing pass and reverse hurdling another human being.
Yeah, well, imagine him returning kicks when he was at Penn State. That was a real nightmare to do.
Yeah, they were just like, please, every way we can get safe on the ball.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Miles. Appreciate it, Miles. Says, who gets to decide who wins the MVP? It's like a low-key great question.
Well, it's got to be It's got to be the NFL, right? Like, there's got to be some sort of voting apparatus within the. It's a good question. I don't think they just asked Roger Goodell. He texts somebody like, "Man, Xavier Worthy's looking really good right now. He's leader in the clubhouse." Can we? Are you looking that up?
Media voters.
The
game's viewing audience can vote on the internet or by using cellular phone. Media voters are asked to vote with about 5 minutes remaining in the game, but are allowed to change their mind when the game ends.
Okay.
Again, that's just Google. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, I like that, though.
Let's go to a $3 donation from Kenny P. Appreciate it, Kenny. He says, plot twist, fellas. Jalen Hurts wins the MVP and Dallas Goedert proposes to Taylor Swift.
Can you imagine?
Dallas Goedert proposes to Travis Kelce.
Can you imagine?
No, how funny would it be if Travis Kelce went down to Taylor Swift and proposed to Caitlin Clark, who's been in the booth with her? Do you think that there's a chance? I know we got to move on, but there's a chance that the winner of the MVP could actually be on the losing team in this game?
Man, when's the last time that's happened?
I don't know. I was trying to think off the top of my head.
Shouldn't be allowed.
When that happened, which I'm with you. I'm actually with you on that. I'm with you on that. All right. We got our top plays, and we decided to make a little caveat here. We took our top play and then our worst play from the weekend. My top play, we're going to go to college basketball. Look, Tennessee fans, been kind of down lately, right? Lose a tough one at Auburn. Kentucky comes in there, beats you in your own place, kind of reeling. Then all of a sudden you find out before the Florida game, Florida's a top 5 ranked team in the country, you get them at home, no Zakai Ziegler and no Igor Milicic from Transylvania. But what do? You show up against Florida and you drop them by 20. And don't forget, Florida beat Tennessee to death in Gainesville. They beat them by a dirty 30, and it could have been worse. So Tennessee's schedule's still really tough going forward. Everybody in the SEC is. But what a big confidence builder. Now, they didn't shoot great. I think they were 27% from 3, but you found a way, and I actually think Zakai Ziegler, hey, don't show that yet. That's my worst. Don't show that. That's my worst yet. That's my worst. Zakai Ziegler actually being off the court. You need him. He's a really good player, really good defender, but I think it gives you a little bit of a different way to go about things for Tennessee sometimes. Maybe Rick Barnes can find something. But a huge win for Tennessee. Nobody saw my worst.
So what's the update on Zakai Ziegler's health?
I think he was walking around on the sideline fine. He was celebrating. I think it's just an ankle, I believe. Yeah. So he'll be back soon. And for him to be out, though, I know why people are worried. For Zakai Ziegler to be out, it must have really sucked. Mm-hmm. But during this game, Walter Clayton got hurt. Florida's best player hurt his ankle twice. I thought he wasn't going to come back in the game. Yeah. Then he came back in and toward the end kind of rolled it again.
Quickly here, I have an update. It's been over 50 years, but Chuck Howley still has the distinction of being the only Super Bowl MVP on a losing team. Howley, who celebrated his 88th birthday Friday, was named Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl V despite the Cowboys losing by a field goal.
I think it's possible.
Stats? You got his numbers?
He had 20 rushing yards and a touchdown.
He was a linebacker. He was a linebacker. So you were on the losing team and you're a linebacker.
Balled out,
he balled, I guarantee.
Yeah, he just was the only one that didn't die from lead poisoning.
38 tackles. All right, where's my best play? I'm going to the ice, boys. Bring this up. It was with the Rangers and the Golden Knights. Do we have this hockey play? Run this one. Run this top play. Hey, we're just skating along.
Gotta fight. Gotta fight.
Now you gotta fight.
Immediately started fighting.
Oh, I love it.
A grown man sport. Boy, if they did that in the NFL these days, they'd arrest them. They put
you're going to
handcuffs behind their back.
And they
get in the cop car.
I don't know if you heard, but Canada, there's a hockey game up there. They started booing during the national anthem.
During whose national anthem?
Our national anthem.
What?
It's beef.
Look.
51st state.
What time should we be up there?
I'll get Kirk out of there.
Get off my lawn.
Rest of y'all's on y'all's own. You don't want that. You don't. This is like the time, and I know Vandy beat him last year, when the Vandy guy, they beat somebody, and he said, we want Bama. No, you don't.
They want him now.
You don't. Canada does not want Bama. That's the last thing y'all want.
That's a tweet right there. All right, pull up my top play, guys, and look. This guy's okay. All right, if you watch this, it's funny. Shane Lowry here at the T-Box. Go ahead and run this. Minus 17.
Is this at Pebble Beach?
Pebble Beach. It's
what it's like to be-
little banana hook, just getting down there a little bit. Not great about it. Hey, did that guy tee off yet? I really don't know. Oh, God! Oh,
That's your best play?
Frazier down!
You hit him in the head?
Frazier down! Oh, no, you're just a bystander. Oh.
We used to call that something, but I can't say it on this show.
Oh, no, buddy.
I thought this was in like a crowd of people.
No,
he was the only guy standing there.
Shit, like, Shane, you had to aim at him. No way the caddy came and was like, hey, $50.
Well, it's like
$50
me on
little
the
running pool right now. You hit that guy in the blue, and I will say the guy in the blues, okay, he's fine. He got the weekend comped at Pebble Beach and got 3 free rounds.
How much money did he get?
I don't know.
I'm gonna need more than 3. I need to be
like, wait a minute. Whoa. So I get hit with a golf ball. Okay, where did he get hit?
Can we see
the
his
shoulder, right in the shoulder.
Oh. So I get hit in the golf ball, it's gonna be $1 million. It's gonna be $1 million.
But you signed up to be there.
Well, guess what? It's America. I don't care. How do you think the person got all the money when they spilled the McDonald's hot coffee on them? Now they got to put caution hot on it.
So now my goal is I'm going to go to every golf tournament. All right, I'm going to stand right next to the fairway. Just right next to the fairway with B-Knox and just watch for them.
So we got the weekend comp.
It's like catching a punt.
You got the weekend comp and 3 free rounds at Pebble Beach.
Yeah, here's what you do. You do that, and then you watch a little Pawn Stars before you get to the negotiating table.
Okay.
Right,
like
really
that.
get on your game.
like
nah,
that.
we're going to
Should I
need more.
shave
Yeah, no, it's gonna cost you $1 million. My reward doesn't need to be me getting pissed off for 3 straight rounds because I'm hitting the balls in the water at Pebble Beach. That's what I think. But good job over there, Blaine. My worst play. Look, we all tell you sometimes you don't hate the media enough. So the Associated Press, just the sick human beings they got over there, put out this tweet. They said, winging it for the Super Bowl, broccoli might be a cheaper party snack this year.
No way.
I let a lot of things slide in my life, and I'm working on it as a person. I'm trying to,
What'd you say?
really calm down a little bit when I get upset. But if you think we stormed the beaches of Normandy to substitute broccoli for chicken wings during the Super Bowl, I've never believed in exiling people more than I do right now. If I come over to your party and you decided to substitute the chicken wings for broccoli, I'm calling the cops and I'm causing a scene. This is America, all right? Okay? Paul Revere didn't cross the Delaware, all right, to go fight Mussolini and the Italians for us to have broccolini or broccoli or squash or whatever stupid vegetable. It's chicken wings. And guess what? They're better than broccoli anyway. God, I'm so pissed. I don't even know how to talk.
Broccolini is better than
with
broccoli
rage.
anyway.
Do what?
Broccolini is better than broccoli.
What is broccolini? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's like the longer broccoli. It's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not better than chicken wings, though. I swear.
No,
Please,
no.
you have broccoli sticks instead of chicken wings, I'll revolt in this piece. I will lose my mind. Oh, that's a mission off.
My worst play. Can we just show the very end of this Boston College and Florida State
Oh, God,
game?
I saw
How
that.
much more can the fans of Florida State be put through after this football season and this clip right here? Seminoles up for 76-72. 12.1 seconds left, Coach. 12.1 seconds left, and we lose the game. Let's show how.
I can't watch Auburn games.
Comes Payne.
Go in to get the layup. Gets blocked. They
Block
get the
first off,
rebound.
then a block.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine.
7
seconds.
seconds. You're up 2. Inbound. Turnover.
And he just pulled.
Launched
you
a
deserved
3.
it.
This was worse than the Kansas and Houston one.
It's
It's
and
bad
you
right
had
now,
a timeout. You panicked with the timeout. And you know what? You just know as a fan watching, the minute that ball is turned over and he shoots the 3, it's going.
Can't miss.
It's just karma.
Can't miss
Basketball is full of karma if you watch. But how does that happen? And then they don't score to win the game. But yeah, like, is Leonard Hamilton almost done at Florida State? They've been kind of just mid for a while now.
It's just this. It doesn't get any worse than this.
It's tough.
And you have a timeout.
And that's what I'm saying. That
You
makes
have a
it even
timeout.
worse.
You didn't use it.
You could have got away with it.
I'll never understand it.
But you forgot to put gas in the getaway car.
I'll never.
How?
With those damn kids and that dog, I swear. All right, pull mine up. Let's go. Worst play. I don't know if y'all saw this. All right. JT Toppin for Houston. Go ahead and run this. The referees in basketball I don't think it's ever been as bad as it is now. He got thrown out of the game for this.
Yeah.
He got thrown out of the game for this. And trust me, I've seen a guy purposely hit somebody in the nuts. I watch Draymond Green play all the time. All right? This was accidental. You can see it easily. You can run it back if you need to see it again.
Yeah, play it again.
He was passing the ball. He has no reason to hit this guy there on purpose. He got thrown out of the game, flagrant 2 foul, tossed out. Then his coach saw it. Then he got thrown out. And this game ended up going to overtime, and Texas Tech ended up winning.
I'm just a foul on the other team. He needs a space to pass.
I'll never understand it. Like, I've never seen worse officiating in basketball.
Well, you know what? As somebody who's gotten hit in the wedding tackle before, I think a lot of guys that are watching this have. We know the amount of pain that comes with it. If you want to give them a flagrant one, okay, you can explain it to me. But you give them a flagrant for each NAD, and toss him out of the game. Like, you toss him out of the game for that? Now, if this was the third time he done it, or he did some sort of Jackie Chan scissor kick to the dude, right square in the meat and 2 veg, I get it. I understand, but that's not what happened.
I see no intent here.
I see no intent either. I'd have gotten thrown out too. I love me some Kelvin Sampson.
1,000%.
Texas Tech won.
Yeah, this just goes back, and I do think college basketball refereeing this year has been atrocious.
It really has been bad.
And I know you can get on here and cry about the refs all you want to, but I think if you watch these games, and I've watched multiple games, so it's been bad all around.
Yeah.
All around, and I don't see it getting any better.
Well, you know what wasn't bad? The betting of the month last month. I won.
Does that even count?
Congratulations.
Yeah, it does count. Right? Don't try and say that it doesn't count.
We did it halfway through
the month. It's amazing. Well, guess what?
I guarantee Jake wouldn't have done it if you wouldn't have been up.
See, you say that, and all I've done, I even counted up our bets, did that individually.
Yeah, I know you counted up your bets because you were winning.
Well, it made
That's
it more
why
fun.
You did it. You
made it more fun.
If you were down 8 units, we wouldn't have heard a peep out of you.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Cody put the graphic out, right?
Cody does.
Yeah, Cody put the graphic out. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to the facts, sir.
Hey, look, I'm not saying you're the problem.
Thank you. I read that in a book. All right, tonight, college hoops, because that's about it. But I love betting it anyway. Big time game in the Big 12, guys. Iowa State kind of been stumbling lately. Lost to Kansas State and Tanging the boys at home. Not Pooty. It's whatever his name is. Jerome Tang, I think, the head coach of Kansas State. Iowa State lost that. Then Kansas has been struggling. We all know what happened against Houston. Then you let Baylor drop a 60-piece with Cajun fries and a honey biscuit against you in the second half. So I'm going to go Iowa State, plus 3.5. Their head coach wears really tight shirts. And then UAB, our guy Andy Kennedy, a.k.a. the AK. They're playing North Texas, who is a defensive team, but I like that over at 136.5 tonight. It's going off at minus 112.
All right, boys, I'm going to the ice on my first bet here. I'm going to take Predators, Senators under 6.5 total goals, minus 165. I really don't think the Senators' money line is a bad play, but I can't bet against the Predators twice in a row because they follow me on X, and there's a lot of questions.
You get followed by Predators?
Yeah. So, second one, though, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, minus 7.5, minus 110. Deep dive on the hardwood tonight.
Nice. I love me some Corpus Christi.
All right, Predators and Senators. Those go well together. All right, let's go. All right, give me William plus William and Mary plus 3.5, minus 114 at home. You know why? Because we gotta trust these guys. Whenever you don't think they're gonna do it, they always find a way. And give me UAB. Shout out the Blazers at home, going off at minus 134.
You just better hope William shows up. Anyway, Ace is gonna take.
Whoa, what do you got against chicks, dude?
I got nothing. I love chicks. I married one. I'm the father of one.
You don't think that a bunch of girls could show up and win that game?
Against guys?
You ever seen Lady Baller?
No. I don't. Any other questions?
Canceled.
Yeah. All right. Ace is going to take Iowa State plus 2.5. I bet mine up at the minus 130. He's going to get him on the line at plus 2.5 at minus 110. And then Colgate. Best in the toothpaste game. Not a bad basketball team either. They got Lehigh tonight, minus 5.5, going off at minus 145. All right. We have 3 minutes left, which gives us three times the amount of time we need for David. See that quick math? Y'all like that?
Well done, man.
I finished third in that Chinese math competition.
That's how it happened.
I
get it now.
Mussolini's broccoli. Y'all never thought that. All right, David, you have 1 minute to read the sport headlines. And if you don't read it in 1 minute, somebody pays the price.
And
this time it's Justine's dog. Just kidding.
You might get a technical foul.
Just kidding.
Wow.
Remember the dog gets it.
Yeah.
All right, David Cohn. All right, David Cohn. You have 1 minute starting Now,
Browns defensive end Myles Garrett has requested a trade after 8 seasons in Cleveland, citing a desire to win. Garrett has 2 years remaining on his deal, and last week General Manager Andrew Berry said he had no interest in trading the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. The Chicago Bears have hired Eric Bieniemy to coach running backs. Bieniemy has made several stops since being the offensive coordinator for Andy Reid and the Chiefs. He was with the Washington Redskins for 1 season and served as the OC at UCLA this past year. Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford are finalizing a deal for a September 13th super middleweight championship fight in Las Vegas. The fight will take place at 168 pounds with no catch weight or rehydration clause. Canelo 62-2-2 with 39 knockouts. Crawford is 41-0 with 31 KOs. Lastly, Nashville has entered a bid to land a WNBA expansion team. Peyton Manning, Tim McGraw, Candace Parker, and others are behind the initiative. The team would be called the Tennessee Summit after the late Vols coach Pat Summitt. Cleveland, Kansas City, and Philadelphia are also in the mix.
Good.
That was before the buzzer.
I got it. You got it. You beat the buzzer. You beat the buzzer.
Thank you.
Thank you. About the WNBA team.
I just want a baseball team.
No Major League Baseball team, but you can have a WNBA team.
I just want a baseball team. I don't want to see a bunch of girls suck at basketball. I just don't. No one likes it. No one enjoys it. If you see a guy there, some chick brought him there. He doesn't want to be there. Nobody wants this. Tim McGraw, traitor. Peyton Manning, traitor. Who else?
Candace Parker.
And
a former governor.
Traitor.
Why not Memphis? They have the NBA team.
Go to Memphis.
Yeah. Be the Memphis.
Walking in Memphis.
I'd rather have a badminton team.
Be the Memphis Grizzlettes. Isn't that the female?
A lot of good ideas.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now help me understand it. Yeah. Who wanted this? What group of people?
Peyton Manning and Tim McGraw.
I think rich people just get bored.
Yeah.
Like, let's do a women's.
Got to have a hand in everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's get these donations. If you donated today, guys, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. We're going to start it off with a $5 donation from Travis. Appreciate it, Travis. He says, another plot twist, fellas. Travis Kelce wins the MVP, but proposes to Patrick Mahomes.
Nice. Now, you want to talk about eyes to TVs, boys. God, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes get engaged after the Super Bowl? God, 5 Pete.
Let's go to $2 donation from the King. Appreciate it, man. Myles Garrett wants a trade. What should the Packers offer?
Not as much as the Bills or the Lions should. That's what I think. We're going to talk about that
more tomorrow. Stay tuned tomorrow.
All right, let's go to a $3 donation from Jerry. Appreciate it, Jerry. Says, fellas, I don't know if you heard, but Myles Garrett wants out of the Browns. What's your thoughts, and where should he go?
We're talking about it tomorrow, brother. Don't miss.
Let's go to a $10 donation from Dave. Appreciate it, Dave. Regarding the Mavs, when was the last time a similar move was made where a team makes a finals and then, not even a full year later, in the middle of the season, trades away its star player?
I can't remember, because don't forget, when LeBron left Cleveland, he was a free agent. Mm-hmm. Like, he was that wasn't like Cleveland was like, here, take him. We got everything good at him. And Luka, they didn't even, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Let's go to a $5 donation from WTH. Somehow Jerry Jones found competition for the title of the worst GM in Dallas. We just traded a Maserati for a Honda Civic and a box of Carpine Centers.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's go to a $3 donation from The Mav. Appreciate it. I hate this organization. The owners picked the profit and not the people. We went to the finals last year and we trade our best player for a guy who gets hurt every second week.
Look, I'm not one of the first to stand up and say boycott. Like, we did it with the men and women's sports thing because it's so ridiculous. But if you're a Mavs fan, like, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not buying anything. I mean, you look me in the eyes and just flip me the bird, and then you JT topping me right between the legs.
$5 donation from the Cross. Appreciate it, man. He's like, really a sneaky move from the Jazz here. I think they actually won this trade.
Yeah, you said the Jazz like, wait, we're getting who?
Yeah.
They're giving them who? Oh, yeah, that's cool.
No, seriously, they didn't even know about the Luka and Anthony Davis part of their trade until like an hour before.
Which I think makes the most sense when your team's name is the Jazz. Just start playing. Throw them out there. We'll see what happens.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. Let's go to a $5 donation from David. Appreciate it, David. He says, the Mavs hate white guys who are good at basketball. I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, y'all have had a lot of them.
Yeah.
You had J.J. Barea. It's hard for me to like.
It's like everything good you did to get Luka in the Trae Young deal with Atlanta, and everyone like said, oh, man, you got the better end of that deal. Now that kind of goes away.
It does. Like, and you didn't win one.
I mean, I get that he was a liability on defense, but still,
Yeah,
is it every
NBA,
player?
are you kidding me?
Is it every player in the NBA?
The NBA
now?
is a liability on defense.
Yeah.
So a $10 donation from LB. Red Raiders veterans played steady. Young guys stepped up. Big shout out to Jeff Linder, Christian Anderson, and Amelia Yalaho for a huge W. Probably said that wrong. Coach Mack preaches tough teams, and a tough team won.
Look, it's a great win. They can control the referees throwing guys out. They still had to win the game on the road, and they did. It's a big win for Texas.
$2 donation from Kirk. Appreciate it, Kirk. McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, Marner, point 9 days.
Kirk, you're worried about the wrong thing right now, dog.
Yeah, don't you owe me money?
Yeah, you're the tariffs. By the way, you now owe me $73 since the show started.
Let's go to a $10 donation from Cuse. Appreciate it, Cuse. Breaking news: the Milwaukee Bucks have just dealt Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not even doing that. And 2 first-round picks to the LA Lakers for Bronny James, a 6-ounce box of Honey Nut Cheerios, and a bag of Campfire Marks.
And you know what? That trade is better than the one the Mavs just did.
All right, that's all the donations for today, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, appreciate everybody there. Got a great show for you tomorrow. Remember, we got that live stream of the Super Bowl coming on Sunday. What?
I can't say Giannis' last name.
Antetokounmpo.
That's wrong.
That's not wrong. That's actually
wrong.
exactly how you say it.
I just thought he was a one-word.
Say it, David.
Giannis.
Just
like
Giannis.
Elvis.
Say it.
See, you should
like
have just said
Madonna.
Giannis and not read the last name.
Well, whatever you put in the prompter, I'll read it.
He is Ron Burgundy. All right, we appreciate you guys and like the chances of me not enjoying that Iowa State-Kansas game tonight. Ooh-hoo-hoo.
I'm saying
Going, gone.
About time you caught one. I guess today.
Would you shut up?
I'm trying to help.
You're like one of those college teams where I miss 2, you get free cupcakes or something.
What type of cupcake? Vanilla?
Yeah, you would like vanilla cupcakes, you monster.